everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sophia, and for those of you that are new here, I'm a junior currently attending Washington State University, but I'm originally from Southern California. So I thought it would be fun to make a quick little video of 10 things I wish I knew about WSU as an out-of-state student. So I have my notes right here that I'm going to be referring to. This is just going to be a super short, sweet to the point video, and yeah, let's get into it. So just so you know, my perspective is pretty niche because I'm from Los Angeles. So I'm from a big urban city moving to an extremely small town. So you might think that some of my things that I wish I knew are kind of ludicrous and kind of weird, but keep in mind where I come from and what I'm used to. So this is just from my perspective. Alright guys, go to part 1 of this video to hear tips 1 through 5. We're starting off at 6 just because part 1 of this video was already way too long. So head over there, watch the first 1 through 5, and then come back and we'll pick up where we left off. The number 6, airport transportation. So the airport transportation is kind of a doozy. So to set the scene, we have an airport called the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport. It's about 15 minutes away from campus. It's perfectly fine. It's a very small airport, and because of that, the flights seem to be very expensive. I always price match my flights between the Pullman Regional, just because it's so close, and then also the Spokane Airport, which is a much bigger airport, about 2 hours away. And I find that Spokane beats the Pullman Airport every single time. So, however, going with that, your airport transportation options are very, very limited. So, essentially, if you want to take the Spokane Shuttle Airport, like I do, to go home, it's $40 each way. You take something called the Wheatland Express. So you can board the Wheatland Express from a couple spots on campus, so it is very accessible. I've never ran into a non-student taking the shuttle, even though it's technically not a WSU affiliated shuttle, but it's pretty much only students that take it anyway. So however, that shuttle only operates at very specific times a year, so you really do have to plan ahead, and your travel dates are going to be limited because of that. And that's also very important to note, especially for all my girls out there. If you're going through recruitment and you have to be there a bit earlier in the semester and you're from out of state, you really have to look into that, and you're probably gonna have to have a parent fly with you, rent a rental car, drive to campus, drop you off, and then drive back to the airport themselves. That's what my boyfriend has had to do a couple times. That is something to note. And then number 7, the people here at WSU are actually so nice, and that's really reassuring as an out-of-state student because I knew absolutely 0 people aside from my boyfriend that went here. I knew nobody, but the people here are so friendly, so welcoming. It's very easy to become like friendly acquaintances with people. You see friendly faces around campus, everyone's smiling if they recognize you. It's a very welcoming environment. And then going with that, something that I was really happy to see from student leaders on campus when I first started here is that people are actively encouraging you to join their clubs. And this goes beyond just normal recruitment numbers for Club Rush and stuff. Like, people are actively encouraging you to pursue things that you're interested in, even if it doesn't necessarily in alignment with their organization. And you really don't have to feel awkward about trying a new student group just because of how welcoming people are and how, I want to say, focused they are in you discovering your own personal interests. So for example, let's say you try out this one club and it turns out that it's not for you. It's not like you're not going to be shunned, you're not going to be looked down upon or anything. You're still going to be friendly with those people, and more often than not, the leaders of the club will actually point you in the right direction and suggest things that you might be more interested in. From my experience, the people here on campus that you're largely going to be interacting with, they really encourage you to get involved and to be your best self, and the people here they're so friendly. I love the students here. Okay, number 8. So there actually are really great things to do here that are within driving distance. So keyword, if you have a car back home and you're comfortable with driving in the winter weather, you need to bring that car. Like, without a doubt, you need to bring that car. My college experience would have been 10 times more fun if I could bring a car up here. So I'm just gonna spit out some things that we have nearby. Most of these things are actually in Idaho. So we have the Snake River. A lot of people like to float in Snake River and have little like lake parties and stuff. It's technically a river, but it kind of looks like a lake. You'll see it if you Google it. There's just so much greenery along with that, and that, I want to say Snake River's on the border of the Washington-Idaho border. It's super close. We're about like 15 minutes away from Idaho, for those of you that don't know. I certainly did not know that when I came here. I didn't know we were that close to Idaho. But yeah, we have an alpaca farm about 15 minutes away that my friend told me about. Super cool. They have puppies, they have kittens there pretty much year round that are free to take, and they have baby alpacas. Like, that's awesome. We have a couple bigger towns within an hour and 2 hours away. So we have Lewiston, Idaho. That's about a 40 to 60 minute drive there. We also have Spokane. Spokane is a pretty big city in the state of Washington. That's about 2 hours away. So that's fun for a day trip. It's really not too bad driving distance. And something to know that I think is really cool. So about 15 minutes away is Moscow, Idaho, like I was saying. So over there, there's something called the Moscow Mall. It's a huge shopping center. They have like a pet store. They have Ross, Marshalls, Target. They got a lot of stuff over there that you can kill time with. And then there's also something in the fall semester called the Moscow Farmers Market. I've never gone, but it actually seems pretty cool. And it's a legit thing, and they kind of block off the street for it. It seems really cool. I really want to go to the farmers market. And then number 9, this also really shocked me. I'm not sure if this is applicable to colleges everywhere. I'm sure a lot of colleges, you're also gonna find this, but I was just pleasantly surprised as an out-of-state student, is that the course programs are designed to be very hands-on. So you're learning technical skills, which I really like. So at least for the Murrow College of Communications, I know that we have a newscast, we have the Cable 8 Productions, like kind of like a TV and producing type of organization. We have a radio show, we have a student-run newspaper, and these are all things that a lot of communication students participate in, and yeah, they're really great opportunities. And the thing is that they keep it really professional, so it's not just like a hunky-dory club you just show up for fun and stuff. A lot of these are actually really professional networking organizations, and they hold you to high standards, which I really like. And there's also great opportunities to get involved with research, which I know that's really huge for STEM majors. That's what my best friends tell me, that it's super easy to get involved with research. You connect with your TA, and it's not necessarily a given, but it's kind of a given, you know, that you can get in on the research projects. That's really helpful. So also going with the STEM thing, again, I'm not a STEM major, so don't hold me to this, but I was shocked to hear this, especially comparing to what a lot of my friends that are studying in the sciences back in the UC system, back in California, they don't seem to be doing this. I don't know if they are, but that's just not what I've heard. I was in a class a few months ago, and I was in a group with all pre-nursing students. And they're talking about how they were handling cadavers already, and they're doing like open labs, and they can go in and do stuff with the cadavers. I really don't know much about that. To be honest, I kind of tuned that out because I was kind of getting freaked out. But they're only sophomores though. So you're getting this hands-on experience very early on here at WSU, and it seems to be across the board, which that's fantastic. And then last but not least, what I really wish I knew as an out-of-state student is that Washington winters are very, very rough, and the pictures on Google Images do not tell you the whole story. So I wrote down all these bullet points, and I'm just gonna read off them because I feel like it's important that we get this communicated very clearly. So in the wintertime, I would say that the average temperature out is about 25 degrees, and it drops to single digits in the very early morning hours. So like 5 to 6 a.m. I would say you're gonna have the single digits. And also in the wintertime, you only get about 12 hours of sunlight. So normally it will, like the sun will start to rise around 6 o'clock, and then the sun sets, like it's black, pitch black at 6 o'clock. So you get a little bit less than 12. And I will say it can be pretty brutal. Last semester, I was basically working 9 to 5 with no breaks. I had class, work, class, everything like that. And for most days of the week, the only time I got to experience the sun was on weekends and also on my way walking to work. And that was about it. I do want to warn you guys that really affected my mood. Also, you can expect to get snow anywhere from November all the way to March. It really varies by year, which is crazy. My freshman year, we got snow in January, and that was it. Last year, we had snow from January all the way to April, which was really strange. And today is March 11th when I'm filming this, and we have snow on the ground. We had a huge dump of snow this past week. So you really never know. We had snow this year from December all the way to March, and I would say that this was the most brutal winter in my 3 years here. And I do want to say that the streets get really, really bad, which is why I mentioned if you do want to bring your car up here, you have to make sure that it's suitable for the snow and the ice. There's absolutely no way that your car cannot be safe for the winter conditions, and there's no way that you can't be prepared to drive in the winter conditions. So we had streets that got so bad that cars were literally sliding down hills, which was crazy. It was very, very scary. And the sidewalks get icy, so you're slipping as you're going down the sidewalk. Most of the sidewalks on campus, they are heated, so they're just gonna be sloshy and wet. But the minute you get off campus, it's literally like an ice skating rink. I've never seen anything like that before I moved here. But also going with that, just because you have bad weather doesn't mean that the university will cancel classes. We had a couple days last semester right before Christmas break where I mentioned the roads were so bad that cars were sliding into different lanes. It was hectic. We had cars sliding backwards down hills. That was very, very scary. University didn't think to cancel classes. And also, this is something that I never would have expected coming from SoCal, but you actually want it to snow in the wintertime, only because if it doesn't snow in the winter, it gets very dark and very dreary. At least with the snow, the sky is kind of illuminated and it kind of has like a white glow to it. So even though it will be 11 p.m., it will still it's still very light and bright outside because of that. Whereas with no snow, it's just dark, dreary, black and gray, and it's not the best. So you kind of do want it to snow. But going with that, I would recommend getting like one of those happy lights or like anti-seasonal depression lights. I don't have one of those, but I do actually have a ring light that I just put right next to me on my desk while I do homework, and I turn it on, and it really impacts my mood in a positive way. So that's all I have to share about things that I wish I knew as an out-of-state student attending Washington State University. And yeah, go Cougs!